to another episode of the Main Stage podcast. I don't know what the number is yet because we are imminently waiting the Leeds Fest 2024 lineup, and that will change things. I'm joined this week by the man who's the first ever guest on the Main Stage podcast, episode 1. We're joined once again by Jack Webb. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm good. Thanks for having me back. Little chin
Yeah,
wag,
it's
always
better.
fun.
Well, obviously, so last time we spoke about a lot of things. We spoke about Glasgow. We spoke about just all sorts of things. And one of the things, we went on a bit of a tangent looking at old Reading and Leeds lineups. Obviously, you've done more Reading and Leeds than me. But we thought it'd be good to do like a whole episode where we just rank all the lineups from the most recent back to 99, which I believe was the first ever Leeds, was in 99.
Potential. Just before my time.
I think it might have been the first ever one where they added Leeds on. But yeah,
Right.
we've got this tier list here. 7 tiers. We've got life changing. That is like top tier. We've got unmissable. So for the ones that are very good, but they're not going to change your life. Got stacked. There's loads of good bands all over the lineup. But it could be, there's no one mind blowing. Couple names here and there. It's just that thing that we say every year. If there's a couple names that stand out, that's where that one will go. We've also got, I'm going because I always go, which is, there's not really a great lineup, but it's just common. I was the same this year. And yeah, Jack is pointing to himself for the audio listeners. We've also got the bottom 2 tiers. I missed the mark. It's just a shit lineup, but it probably wouldn't. It might not stop you going. And then we've got selling my ticket, which is just bottom tier for us, Reading and Leeds goers that go every year. So we'll start with 2023. I've got my lineup on screen right now. What do you think about the lineup for 2023?
23. This whole is such a weird context, right? Because as these age really well, right?
Yeah.
As they get older, they're going to get better and better and better.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to bear that in mind. I think
Yeah.
this year was I really loved seeing like Sam Fender and Billie Eilish headline for the first time.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think that apart from that, I think it was a fine year. Like It wasn't like blow me out of my mind. It wasn't.
If we're talking like lineup only and not the actual end of the festival, for that lineup, it's lower than the festival as a whole would go. I think the organisation in 2023 and the way that it's the best they've ever done the 2 main stages. The best layout. They added a bunch of things to keep it interesting, like that massive silent disco. They've added a bunch of stuff this year, and the year ended up being really good. But as a lineup on paper, I don't know where I'd put it. It's definitely not in the top 3.
Yeah, I don't know. There were moments for me especially like that Friday, where it was non-stop.
Do you know what? For me, it was literally a thing where I was like, "There's a couple of names here and there." Where it was like, I'm not going to see loads. I'd see maybe 2 or 3 names a day. Couple big, and the names that I would see would be big. Like, do you know what I mean? It'd be like proper standout names. So for me, I'd say dead middle.
Interesting. Yeah, I'd probably go one up, just
One up.
Personally. Yeah, only because I think I saw a lot, and there was very little dead time for me this year.
Agreed. Actually, I did. Like in the plans before, I didn't expect to see as many people, but we were kind of constantly in the arena. We didn't really when we were in, we didn't really leave, which is also which is like kind of what you want. So
that's
I am
exactly
happy.
If you can stomach the $6.50 pint cost, then you just get
exactly. On. And especially like I know that this is with Lewis Capaldi. Well, this lineup that I'm looking at currently says TBC. Before Lewis Capaldi pulled out, I would have put it definitely in a couple names here and there. But with the 1975, I do kind of agree that that definitely lifted the whole thing up.
Yeah. I just think like you go to that okay, so the Friday was stacked. Yard Act, Wet Leg, Loyal Kana, Sam, Foles, Bicep. I know Trippie Red pulled out. Frank Turner was great. Bombay Castle Club ended up doing a secret set on that. Like that is a fucking mental day.
Yeah, because I got dragged along to see Seagirls, and then there was no one really I was too fussed about up until Foles and Wet Leg.
Right.
We saw Bicep, we saw Wet Leg, we saw Foles, we saw Sam Fender, and they were all good. To be fair, like none of them I don't know about Wet Leg, but the rest of those they did a good show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
No,
for what the lineup, rather than what the lineup suggests, but what it led to, I would definitely say, yeah, I'd fit it into stacked.
Nice. We agreed. I can't believe that
Okay.
after the Imagine Dragons fiasco of
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, literally. Do you know what? It was the fact that I didn't see him, so it's just out of my mind.
Nice. Nice.
But so 2022 is the next one. Now, this lineup on paper was unreal when it came out. The actual festival, not as good as the lineup, maybe suggested it would have been. Because there was a few big names. There were some letdowns. I didn't think Dave was great.
I look back at this and I remember there being so much hype for individual. So right with this one, you've got 6 headliners.
Yeah.
And this is where they're still trying to find their feet, I think, as a festival with the dual headliners.
Yeah.
Everyone lost their mind the fact that AM were headlining.
Yeah.
But if we could just suspend ourselves from the possibilities that AM are not the greatest band in the entire world.
Yeah.
Then, and if you remove them and you put in another insert alternative rock here, that's a bang average lineup.
The thing is, for me, I think the big draw for me was like that one day where it was Bring Me the Horizon, Fontaines, Wolf Alice, and Arctic Monkeys. I think it was that 4 that I think to a lot of people, they saw those 4 names all put together on the same day and they've just gone, first thing they've seen, they've gone Monkeys, Wolf Alice, Fontaines, Bring Me, and they've gone, that's unreal. Sure. Whereas in reality, what you're getting is you're getting a brilliant Sunday night at Leeds, but then you've got to look the rest of it and go, okay, well, Rage 100%. Would have been good. The 1975 were good. Dave wasn't as...
I remember going back and editing my vlog and being like, oh my God, that run where it goes Enter Shikari, Fontaines,
Wolf literally.
AM, biblical. Absolutely brilliant.
And the thing is, we didn't even get to see all the Wolf Alice's set just because of they were still the dual main stage thing, I think, really affected last year.
Sure.
Where it was easier than the first year and people knew what they were doing more than the first year of it, but they hadn't figured out like that they need to kind of either make the gaps longer or make sure that if one stage delays, the other one does, which they
100%
in 2023.
And I don't know if this was the same in Leeds, but at Reading, I found like until we got to those last 3 of each stage, main stage was pretty dead all day.
Yeah,
right. So the vibe was down. It has a massive impact on everything. If I go back and look at that Sunday for me, which is 75 Halsey, I remember going watching Run the Jewels and being like front row, and it's still being dead, and they're 3 from top, and it's Run the Jewels. So there was I found a lot of that, and I think the Friday, if you remove like a lot of it was really good. Like I loved seeing Wallows, I loved seeing Glass Animals were amazing. Frank Carter was great. But that's kind of it. Like I had a really great time, but it wouldn't have been like out of this world.
For me, it's like those on here. It's the names with logos that really sell it, and apart from that, there's not really too much else going on. But I think as a festival as a whole, it wasn't as good as it should have been. But based solely,
and it wasn't as good as this year.
Yeah, I think 2022, I don't know, because part of me wants to judge it solely on the lineup and on what I'm seeing on paper. But at the same time, it's like a lot of what we saw on paper, while it is still great, it didn't lead to anything.
I tell you what, it was meant to have Rage in that lineup.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But either way, like Rage or the 75, either way, it's great.
Yeah. But Rage haven't played in the UK in 10 years. So
yeah.
3 gigs a year, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
4 a year. Like, I think for me, like that's the thing. If you look at it, how it ended up being, and this is a really unfair way of judging it, it's like, okay, cool. We've got a lot of very popular people who are in the UK, backed up with a couple of people that are fine. And then AM really carries the weight. But if you were to have Rage there, you've got both AM and Rage.
Yeah, because the thing is as well, like, because everyone thought after Rage pulled out, the thing was like, oh, you've still got Monkeys, Bring Me, and Dave. Bring Me were probably the best band of the weekend, so that was fine. But
Right.
Dave really wasn't as good as he should have been. And I think if Rage were there, it wouldn't have been an issue that Dave wasn't as good as he should have been. Because Dave not being that good, that let the whole Saturday down.
Right.
The only band then that we saw that was any good that we were really excited for was Circa Waves.
Right.
And I think the other thing about 2022 was, like, you know how we were talking about last time? We were talking about how the stages don't ever seem to really fill up. Well, in 2023, I didn't notice that. Like, the stages were all really full. So they'd obviously got, but like the bands that they got, they were the right size, to be fair, and they had the right draw to them. Like, the stage was rammed for Seagirls. I don't know about in Reading, but like that to be so early in the day and you still got a packed out stage is a great thing. But
yeah, I agree. I think there's something. I think there's something there in that they've refigured that out to a certain extent. I think the other thing here is that, like, where you change the days based on, so your experience of will be, even though it's in a different place and it's got different people, you can get away with having a bit of a shitter Friday because
exactly. You got
it's
Monkeys
Friday
Sunday
and
night.
everyone's got the energy.
Yeah.
But if you're going to shift that and put that on the Sunday, that's a different thing. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you can't have the same. It can't work that way. So I think for us, like, and also, like, we're much nearer London. There's a huge following for Dave. He was very, very popular. In Reading, but yeah, he thought he was fine. But yeah, as a whole, I thought that year was.
I think that's the main thing that does it for me, is that thing about the stages never filling out, because that kind of shows me that the lineup's not. Do you know what I mean? Because if the lineup was to par, then the stages would have filled out at the right times, but it didn't. Yeah. I feel like I can't put a lineup with Monkeys Bring Me 75 Halsey like too low, but I think it's probably around here.
Yeah, I would have said a couple here or there.
Yeah. Now 2021.
That was a really good one where I discovered a lot. That's which is a different thing, I know.
Yeah. Now 2021. I don't know about. I'll let you actually open 2021 because I've got some opinions about 2021, which might be a bit controversial.
21. Well, it was the first year back after the pandemic, so it could do no wrong. Because we'd had a year without any festivals or gigs.
Yeah.
And it's the first real big thing back after that. So I think that with that in mind, it was pretty stacked. Again, so 3 years on a trot, they've had a headliner pull out, which is wild. And I would have loved Queens of Stone Age, but Biffy, I thought, really, really brought it in the end.
Yeah.
I think, like, it was such a nice balance of, it was first year of the two main stages. They didn't get it right from an angle of, like, execution and trying to figure out, like, sound and how people are going to work towards those two. That being said, to have Disclosure post Stormzy, Catfish, Liam and Biffy in one weekend, I think was a really good balance of all genres in Sound of the Zeitgeist.
Yeah. So for me, 2021 goes right at the top.
Right.
For me,
was it your first year by any chance?
You what? It wasn't. It was my second.
Right.
So for me, there was just something in the air. Like, obviously, everyone had come out of COVID. I genuinely am convinced 2021 Leeds Fest might be the best festival I've ever been to.
Right.
I thought it was unreal. I think everything from the lineup. I think so they announced Queens. I didn't care for Queens. And then last minute they brought in Biffy Clyro, my favourite band of all time. I've gone, well, realistically, that's bumped it up. The day before, Blossoms came in to replace MGK, which is like one of the biggest upgrades you can possibly have. Yeah. Like, so not only that, but then we had like Catfish, who were my favourite band ever at the time. Stormzy was unreal that weekend. Disclosure was one of the most, like, obviously I've done 4 years, so I've not seen anything too out there on the main stage, but I always know, like, Disclosure and Bicep were so different to every other main stage set I've ever seen. You had LG was unreal, and Biffy smashed it. And then, like, you also have the Saturday. Now, the Saturday at this festival, so you opened with Sports Team, went over to Inhaler, Don Broco Secret Set. You went to Seagirls afterwards, Declan McKenna, into Sam Fender, into Mabel, into H, into AJ Tracy, into Catfish, into Stormzy. Like, that is literally just backwards and forwards from about 4 p.m. until the end.
Was it in Nothing But Thieves that opened the thing? Oh, yeah. So for us, it was Nothing But Thieves that opened the festival as well, right? So it went MBT, sports team, and then we did the Bounce. Declan, Inhaler were like, they were pretty new as well.
Yeah, this was when Inhaler, this just off their first album.
And I remember going, this was great, and it was like we desperately need it. We had some really bad sound issues on that second main stage.
Agreed. So my thing is with 2021 is like I'm happy to remove like the sound issues just because I think as a lineup, and
that being said, Catfish will fucking dog in Reading.
Do you know what it was? People said this about both, but I had a great time. I didn't notice.
Catfish, you sing along. Sing along.
No, exactly. So that's the thing. Like, I didn't notice, and if you try and ignore it, because like, don't get me wrong, I was Catfish's biggest fan. I was like trying to spot any signs on stage of like how they speaking to each other, sort of thing, and nothing. It didn't look too bad, but as soon as I just turned off that and went, it's Catfish at the bottom, man. Like that was incredible. Was that set? And there were so many people there at Leeds. It was for me, that was seeing that many people at Catfish gig just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I'd seen Catfish since like their first single. I went and saw them at a fucking pub in Bristol. I've been following their career the whole time, so it was really special to see them kind of. And I said like straight away, this band is going to headline Reading Festival one day.
Yeah.
So like to see that kind of fall through was really poetic and lovely. And I loved it. It was 2021. Like I said, we'd all been away.
It was. I feel like as an event, you've got to almost put this, Download, Pilot, and Sefton Park as like all three of them have got to be like kind of top tier. I don't think anyone will look back badly on any of them.
I'm trying to see it. I think there might have been a little lull in the middle of the day on the Sunday for me.
So yeah, there was one for us. There was one for us on the Sunday, which we had a different Sunday, obviously. But for me, our Sunday was Bieber Doobie into Slow Tie, into the Wombats, 2-door, Disclosure, and then Post. And that was like from 5 p.m. onwards. So like we were kind of chilling in the morning. And then there was just a big burst at the end.
And I think like because it's Sunday, you're probably more likely to have a little bit of a lull.
I feel like what they need to do what Kendall do in terms of booking Sundays is try and make 2 of the days on the bill really energetic, really poppy, really dancey, get people moving, and then have those 2 days be the Sunday each festival. Just to get people in, like, into the arena. Or put someone massive on straight away. On the Sunday, like 12 o'clock, have someone massive.
Yeah, I agree. You don't need to have that special guest on the Friday because
no, exactly. It's the point. It's just another set where they're like billed lower than they need to be.
Yeah, I thought it was a good one. 21. I remember really, really enjoying it. And to see 6 headliners as well was like, oh, this is different.
Yeah. So, for me, I don't know about you, but I'm going.
You know what? I'll let you have it, mate. I'll let you have it.
Now, this one, it was my first Leeds Fest, was 2019. 2019, and this is a good lineup.
Well, so for me, like this is the year that I did the whole WTF series, right? So like fucking hell! Like, looking at that poster, I cannot believe I made that many videos.
That is it's a good lineup, is that?
It was.
And the thing is, I can't at the time I didn't know about any of this stuff. I was going solely because I wanted to see 1975. So at the time, it wasn't even booked based on like this wasn't my first Leeds Fest based on like there was everyone I wanted to see. This was my first Leeds Fest based on it was the next 1975 gig.
I think that having a dual headliner is so funny, isn't it? Like it's fucking bollocks. But the cool thing about 75 there is it's their first time headlining. Yeah. So for me, that's like this culturally massive band who has had such an impact on modern music. There's not a fucking guitar player in the north of the UK that is not trying to to be there. Oh, maybe there fucking is. That's going to piss off a lot of metal guitarists. Hey ho. But there's such an important band. At the time, there were people being like, they're just a little band, they can't headline, and now they're fucking the 1975, right?
Yeah.
So that's super special.
As well, that for me on that 1975 thing, I weren't at Finsbury, so I couldn't tell you, but I reckon that's probably the best set they've ever played.
Right.
In terms of like set list, production, like the time, because it was around the time they got chased out of Dubai.
Yeah.
So like it was just such a culturally, it was a moment for him culturally, and like people had just come out,
literally just come out. Yeah, I think had they just released Fragile State of Mind, it was like
Frail State wasn't even out at this point, so they'd released People 2 days before Reading, and I remember apparently they were playing it on the speakers through the campsite.
Right.
From that's what I've been told is that they were playing it. They were having like listening parties.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just, it's funny to look back at that. That's only like what 3-4 years ago, and now it's like, of course, it's the fucking 1975. Like, every man in his
you wouldn't even question it now. You'd be like,
no, because you wouldn't. In fact, you question it when they don't headline Reading now because they've done it so many fucking times. So yeah, no, I thought that was great.
And then before him, you've got Royal Blood, the Wombats, Yumi at 6, Juice WRLD's last ever UK show, Twin Atlantic, Charlie XCX.
Did he? Didn't he pull out?
He played Leeds.
Played Leeds, but not Reading. Right.
And I got dragged to see him because I didn't know anything about him, and he ended up being really good.
Oh, that's sad, isn't it?
And then, like, on the second stage, you've got Dave, Circa Waves, Pale Waves. Mate, Dave was on the second stage, right? And then what? 2 lineups later, he's headlined.
Same as Sam, though, isn't it?
Yeah, fair.
Right, like, I think that's the thing, like, that was the really cool thing about the Radio 1 stage, is that it was people that were big enough to headline the Radio 1 stage because they're playing arenas and they're relevant enough to go and play big.
It's like a perfect slot for like a Tudor or someone like that.
Maybe.
Like an Idols.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I think there's some of those, like Tudor and Idols, I think have a really big following. They're probably too big to be put on an tent. Are they headline worthy? I don't know. Like, that's a different conversation. But
even
I think there's something nice about those that kind of like, okay, cool. I'm of a size. I'm not that big, but I'm of a size where a lot of people are going to come in.
And that's even just the Saturday as well that we've looked at. Like, Saturday Reading, Sunday Leeds, Post Malone, 21 Pilots, Blossoms, Anderson .Paak, AJ Tracy, The Hunter, Billie Eilish.
Was meant to be in the tent.
Yeah.
And they had to up her to the main stage.
That's a stacked lineup. And then the Sunday or the Friday at least, Foo Fighters, Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes, A Day to Remember.
Even like Distillers and Swimmers and Shikari.
Bastille, Sandara Karma, Lil Baby.
Yeah. It was so good. It was so good. I remember that year. That was the year I was fucking broke, and I was living in Australia, and it was the first time I was living in Australia, and I'd flown back, and I spent all of my money on my plane ticket, so I had no money, and my brother was with just me and him. He also had no money, and it was fucking boiling hot, like so hot, and we just had to get back to the tent. Number one, to get beers because we were broke, and number two, because it was just too hot to be around.
Yeah.
But it was a banging of a year. Like that for me, in my opinion, is life changing because
that I would have put that as like high end. I would have gone high end unmissable. So if you want to go life changing, I'll back it.
I think the poetics of it being the year that I committed to making all those vids. It was just such a. I remember it so well. Even going down to the Festival Republic stage and seeing Hobo Johnson, the Chats. Ocean Alley, Peace Sports Team. Sports Team are like 4th down on the Saturday on the Festival Republic stage.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hilarious.
But then, like, not even that, but just like, I feel like that era from like 2017, 18, 19, 20, what would have been 20, I feel like that was almost like a peak era of Reading and Leeds. I feel like in that kind of late 2010s, there would have been a lot of really good lineups, and I feel like
it's definitely. I think as we go back in the next couple, we'll start to. There's a trend, and I think this is the end of a chapter, and the last post COVID has been a different chapter, but probably 15 through 19 is also like this is different, and it's not just because of the stages. Like, you can see by the type of people they're booking and the way that it's working, it feels different. And then there's a definite defining place.
The thing is, like, this is the sort of lineup that you could see them putting out now, and if they were to, we'd say like that reminds me of an old school like 2018 lineup. Do you know what I mean? They could put that out now, and it'd be one of those ones that if they put that out now, we'd be like, this reminds us of like really good Reading and Leeds. But next up, 2018. Now, if I remember correctly, I think this one is a bit of a stinker.
Yeah, I think this is shite.
This was the one. This was the one Duty Rhino hated.
Oh, he fucking hated everything.
Who is it? And they didn't have like a column poster at any point.
Yes, they didn't have a column poster, and I fucking hated whoever graphically designed this deserves to be fucking. I was going to say shot.
So who have we got? Fall Out Boy, Travis Scott, the Wombats, Kendrick, Panic, Dewar. To be fair, Kings of Leon Cortinas, the Vaccines, the most boring afternoon of music you've ever heard.
Okay, so Friday for me, Fall Out Boy, Travis Scott. I remember everyone being so buzzed to see Travis Scott.
Yeah.
And I remember just thinking, oh wow, I'm old. Like I don't understand. Like I know like 3 Travis Scott songs. Like I was with some of my mates who are like, who the fuck is that guy? But also Travis Scott wasn't a headliner, but they gave him big text. Okay.
Same, I'm assuming with Panic at the Disco, right?
No, Panic were the co-headliner.
Right.
So this is 4 headliners, but Travis Scott had big text but wasn't billed as a headliner.
Okay, got you.
Which makes no fucking sense, but was clearly like a massive name to bring in.
Yeah. And this is one main stage as well, so bro would have ended at like 8:30.
Yeah.
He would have been on at like 7 p.m. or something. It's mental.
Yeah, so Fall Out Boy, I don't even...
I imagine that being a really good show from Travis Scott, though. I feel like Travis Scott in 2018 would have put on a good show.
Who would I have been going and seeing?
Kendrick would have been insane at this point. I would have loved to see Kendrick at this point.
Yeah, it was amazing. But that Friday, for me, which is Fall Out Boy, Travis Scott, I remember we went and saw the Used, who had the Used was second on the lockup stage, which is hilarious. Who were on the same time as Travis Scott, and then when they finished, and they're fucking brilliant. And when they finished, Fall Out Boy started, and we went over to go see Wolf Alice on the Radio 1 stage, and it was bloody brilliant.
Got, like, Pendulum, AJ Tracy, Papa Roach.
Papa Roach, I forgot about that.
Do you know what? I don't think this is that bad. I think probably I'd put it in maybe stacked or couple names here and there.
Like if you go through this, and I'm in a time where I'm looking. There's a few old bands like Papa Roach and the Used. And by old, I mean like they were relevant. Mike Shinoda, Sum 41, great, but they were Indred. They were popular back in there.
Yeah,
like great. And then you have these other acts like. There's actually a lot of throwback, even though it's 2018.
Yeah,
Mike Shinoda, Sum 41, Skindred, NERD, The Used, Kings of Leon, Cortinas. Even then, like we're looking at bands that were way more popular 10 years prior than they were at that point.
For me, that is like literally there's a couple names here and there, but the names that are there that do stand out are massive. So it's like Fall Out Boy, Travis Scott, Kendrick Lamar. You'd never get that now. Just those 3 alone. That
would be your 3 headliners now, wouldn't it? You would have that.
Yeah, exactly. And you'd have like the Kooks, the Wombats, Cortina. Like you won't get Cortinas now like that low down. So the names that are there are big.
Of course you would. They're fucking second from top.
Maybe. I don't know. No, but what I mean
what is it? The minute you go
as a headliner,
everyone's like the Cortinas are fucking great.
The thing is, I think they're shit. No, I agree that they're shit, but like they do play massive gigs all the time. Like they're always playing the cricket ground.
20,000 people. That's the problem, right?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Like they're not.
Okay.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, fine. I don't want to take away from Cortinas, and if you're a fan of Cortinas, then great.
And
Love
I
them.
feel like with like the current like indie thing at the minute, with it being very football-y and like very TikTok and like Jamie Webster, the Lathams, I feel like Cortinas is just going to appeal to the Reading and Leeds crowd now and be a headliner.
Maybe. But I think more a Leeds than a Reading. Like they're sure everyone's there for 19 forever, and they've got flares and football shirts. But like, that's going to be a really tight front in the first like 2 sections, and then it's a dead back.
Yeah.
Unless
okay.
Well, like, loads of dads who are just trying to relive the fucking 70s.
Yeah, fair enough. And then you've got the list. So the big names are like Kendrick, Panic, Dewar, Fall Out Boy, Post Malone, Travis, the Kooks, and the Wombats, right?
Kings of Leon at this stage though are like they hadn't played in 10 years and were back and big, and they played fucking banger of a set. So they would have been the big band of the weekend at that point.
Okay.
Maybe Fall Out Boy as well, but like, yeah, I think they were big.
Like looking at that for me, the big names are there, but there's not as many of them.
Yeah, I think it's a couple here and there for me.
Yeah. I think the names that are there though are massive, and I think you do have to.
But then, like, if we're putting that in the same tier as 22, I'd be putting it probably one down. But that's just my opinion.
To be fair, I think 23 goes into here as well. I'm still not sure about 23 being higher than 22 because on paper,
I'm just seeing halfway down the bottom.
For me, I reckon the most sense would be that.
Right.
Have 23 and 2018 together. Where's a couple names, but they are really good.
All right, I'll concede.
Got you.
I remember this being a distinctly average year for me. Like,
yeah,
it was fine. I'll go, but like, whatever. I've just looked. If you go all the way down, like Sleep Token, where I've just fucking lost them, who are now like supporting Bring Me on their world tour.
Yeah,
they're like right far down. It's like 5 years. It's crazy. Sam Fender's there. Capaldi's there. I love looking at the old little.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking at 2017 now.
2017. Now, so there's a phase between 13 and 17 where I could not tell you what's what.
Right. Okay. So 17. 17. You've got Muse. You've got a prime Kasabian at this point, and then you've got Eminem. And then right below him, you've got Liam Gallagher, Bastille, Major Lazer, Blossoms, Tudor, and Korn are the big kind of 9 names. Haim, Yumi at 6. I think that's all right, to be fair.
I remember looking at this as a lineup and going, "This is great." And you know what? If something like this came out today, it would be out fucking rageous. It really would.
For me, of the 3 headliners, the only one that I'm at least in 2017, the only one that I'm asked about is Kasabian. And but like now, I don't care too much about Kasabian as much. Do you know what I mean? I've seen him a lot, so for me, like in the context of now, the 3 headliners aren't doing it for me.
I distinctly remember Eminem having a very, very poppy set.
Yeah.
And it being like bang average.
Right.
Like really bang average. He just played the real like commercially poppy records.
Got you.
It was almost like he was aware that there was a Reading and Leeds side to him, which was very rock and roll and very dark. Oh, check me out with my balloons. That was very rock and roll and very dark. And then there's this extra like
V Festival.
But then there's this like V Fest side to him, and I think it was almost like he forgot which festival he was at and he played the wrong set because it was just boring.
Yeah,
and it's fucking Eminem. I love Eminem. Like he's great.
From what I've heard as well, like doesn't he do like 40 first verses instead of just playing any whole songs? I swear he's meant to play about the first verse of about 40 songs rather than just doing anything in full.
He just went, right, how do I get all through all the records? Yeah.
But then, no, Liam Gallagher, Blossoms, Tudor, Korn. That's pretty great.
I think we went home after Liam played Wonderwall that year.
Right.
I think we just sacked it off. I think we were done. I'm really, really disappointed in myself because we should have stayed and watched Haim.
To be fair,
look,
Rat Boy Circle is Jimmy Eat World. That's not too bad.
I'm just thinking though, like, if you look at all of those, like, I'm not really on any of those days caring too much about anything until this go.
There's a few like here and there.
I remember. I remember who was with them. So Friday was a good one because we had a load of good mates, and we had we did Circle A's Jimmy Eat Well, Two Door. We wouldn't have watched Bastille. Maybe we went back and got some more drinks or something. I don't know, and then watched Kasabian. But yeah, I think this is like fine. It's fine
for me in the current context. This is the lowest. This is the worst we've seen. As it starts, like all the ones after this, there's more that I care about. There's more that I'm seeing.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I do remember that Saturday seeing Frank Carter in the Radio 1 stage and being like, fuck me, this guy's the best person in the world.
Because the headliners all have a really good status, but none of them, like, I don't really care for any of them. Do you know what I mean? They're all like big status.
This is like, they've gone down since then.
Yeah, it'd be like if I got if they were to put on like a Reading and Leeds where it was like massive bands, it was like say Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blink-182 and Green Day. I'm like, yeah, that's really cool, but I don't care really for any of them like all that much. It's like I could miss a Green Day.
That are in their past their prime.
Yeah, if there was anyone if there was anyone I really liked on, like, I can miss Green Day, I can miss Blink. Okay. Do you know what I mean? I feel like this is kind of similar to that. So I'm gonna drop that into. I'm going because I always do.
And I did go because I always go. Right, 16. Let's have a look.
I think this one's unreal. I'm pretty sure this one's
mad. Oh yeah, I remember this. This is your 5 headliners.
Yes.
How do we get as much in as we possibly can?
Headliners alone.
Yes.
Headliners alone would put it in an unmissable.
I think Fall Out Boy are a distinctly average band, in my opinion. Always have been.
I rate them live, though. I've seen them last week.
Because, like, I'm old as fuck and they were the next generation. Like, so like Falls and Disclosure, first time they'd ever headlined, and it was fucking outrageous. And Disclosure at this point, right, they come out in 2013, so they're 3 years in, they've got their first album out, it was the biggest fucking thing in the entire world. They were fucking great. And Foals were, again, at that peak. What I would say is, though, that year was the turnout. They were clearly had booked an act that wasn't quite big enough to headline yet.
Right.
This would have been one of those where having the 2 headliners would have been perfect because you could have put Disclosure on last and everyone would have showed up and it would have been wild. Yeah. And Foals could have been on the one before and it would have been perfect for that kind of size.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing all of Boy Better Know, outrageous. D'Antvord, absolutely outrageous. Nothing but Thieves. Frank Carter. Was it Swimmers that day too?
Two Door Cinema Club. Tina's 75. This is in 2016 as well. So this is when I Like It When You Sleep come out.
Yes.
21 Pilots, The Neighborhood. That is proper like classic Tumblr weekend, really.
I remember my sister-in-law came that year on the Friday, and my sister-in-law, she's moving to Saudi Arabia today, so she's in the sky somewhere. Best of luck, Lane. But she came with her mate whose brother is in Trash Boat, and so had like a backstage pass that they happened to have with them, and so they took my girlfriend backstage, and Lauren has an ability to get so drunk on a Friday every single time it's outrageous that she decided to throw up all over Thrice's drum kit.
That's really funny.
Right, I just felt that Anna reminded me.
But that's a really good lineup.
It's good. It's good. I remember that year. I remember that Friday being fucking brilliant.
And like of your 5 headliners, Falls, Fall Out Boy, Biffy are all, for me, perfect. You've got 1975, Two Door,
Let's go down here though, right? Even look like, and I know we can do all of the dance stage and that stuff, but even the one extra stage, which is by far the weakest stage of the whole thing, which gets way more credit than it should. Stormzy, Wiley headlines, Travis Scott headlines, and Kano headlines. That's a fucking one extra stage.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Do you know what I mean? Amazing. Anderson .Paak. Brilliant.
Travis Scott was on the one extra stage.
Yeah, on the Sunday headline, no?
No, I've got Kano. One extra stage.
On Saturday?
I've got Stormzy, Wiley, Kano on mine. It might have been like a change. There might have been.
Yeah, they might have changed it. We got Travis Scott at this one. And Logic. Fucking Logic.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard as well.
Bro.
That's nuts.
Bro, I saw King Gizzard earlier this year. They were fucking great.
Oh, mate, that's got the Wombats as well. There's so much going on.
Yeah. And even here, right, you've still got the remnants of old metal Reading and Leeds as well. Like Coheed and Cambria playing, like Sleeping with Sirens on the main stage. There's still Skin Dread. There's still that kind of Eagles of Death Metal played. That was the year of the Bataclan as well, or the year after the Bataclan. So,
but the question is 2016 as good as 2019 and 2021?
No.
Do you reckon? Because for me, like, the Biffy Fallout Boy Falls thing is a strong argument.
But here's the thing. You're looking at that through a 2023 lens.
Yeah, facts. Fair enough.
So I'm putting that in unmissable because it's absolutely brilliant. Nas, great. But we're about to hit some years which are biblical.
Yeah.
And this is not one of those years.
Got you. Because, like, Biffy would have been good at this point. I don't know if Foles would have been as good, actually.
Foles had just released what went down.
Fallout Boy probably would have been... Fallout Boy would have probably been better than they are now. Because this is before that Purple album.
I'm just fucking Fallout Boy. All right, I cannot remember for the life of me. I think
it's this the Bring Me one?
Sunday. God, I'm good.
Yeah, Bring Me. Bring Me Metallica. You joking?
Okay, so Mumford & Sons headlining. That's hilarious. I mean, they probably would still headline now, wouldn't they? They're still pretty big. If you're doing 6 headlines.
Do you know what? I was speaking to someone today, and they said to me, they were like, a rogue shout for 2024 would be like a Mumford & Sons or a Lumineers.
And
I was like
that's
very out there.
Throwback.
I was like, that's very out there.
But it kind of works.
Yeah. Oh, like, the other one he said was like James Bay. I think he's a bit small.
Yeah, it's not the R&L crew though. You're gonna remember.
No, so we got
James Bay is.
Yeah, we've got Mumford & Sons, Alt J, Bastille, All Time Low, Panic at the Disco, Neck Deep, Limp Bizkit.
So that Limp Bizkit set was one of my favourite memories of Reading.
Limp Bizkit and Don Broco. Wilkinson.
Yeah, and I think at this point Wilkinson had kind of maybe within a year or so had released Afterglow, so he was pretty big.
So that's the Friday. That's a Friday. The Saturday, Metallica, Royal Blood, Bring Me, Pierce the Veil, Twin Atlantic, Catfish and the Bottlemen, Everything, Wolf Alice, Circa Waves, all back to back.
Also, know that Rebel Sound is Shy FX, David Rodigan, and Chase and Status together.
Got you.
So it's like, it was fucking mental.
Then you've got like Charlie XCX, really low down. The Wombats on the Festival Republic stage. And then like Libertines, Kendrick second from bottom. Is this the year To Pimp a Butterfly came out as well?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. No, it was the year after. I think To Pimp a Butterfly came out in 2014, but yes, it was in that kind of remit.
So Kendrick doing To Pimp a Butterfly. You've got,
but he played mainly old stuff.
Yeah, To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick era. That's mental. Tyler the Creator as well. Glass Animals. Who knew they'd been going on that long?
Yeah, right. But then like you even got like the Maccabees. Sorry, you got the Maccabees on the main stage. Like they're obviously gone now. Jamie XX,
BBK.
years and years. Yeah, it was. I kind of remember this. I went with. It was me and one of my I went with two friends. Will was definitely there.
Yeah.
I think Jack Bennett. I remember that. I had a good crew that year. I think it was 6 of us, and we had really good time. And I remember Metallica just being so loud. Like they just turned everything up. Metallica.
That's the thing. There's quite clearly like a split as well on that day where it's like the Friday is quite clearly like a poppy day. The Saturday's like your rock day, and your Sunday's just like your kind of indie, a bit left field day. I think that's really cool. The 3 headliners aren't doing too much for me, but directly under. And
it's everything else, isn't it? And I guess the thing is, remember, you can skip Mumford to go see Biscuit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you don't want to see the Libertines because they're old and crusty, you can go see Dead Mouse or Boy Better Know. Great.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's a good alternative.
That is a good lineup. The headliners are a bit shitty.
I remember this year getting a lot of criticism as well.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be in this region.
Yeah, I'm happy with Stacked.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is the kind of pinnacle of the Stacked tier, I reckon.
I think there's a lot going on, and we can look back at a lot of those with the kind of rose tinted glasses of today, and they're fine. But like most of them are
kind of just they're a bit boring.
I can't remember 14 for the last.
Oh Jesus! Jesus!
Oh, I remember this.
This is okay. If 2022 didn't do it for you, 2014's kind of similar, but better, maybe.
I mean, so at the time,
After Laughter's not out, and This Is Why isn't out as well for that Paramore.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of good music from them before that.
Yes, I agree. I wasn't a Paramore fan at this point.
Right.
They were for like sad indie girls.
Yeah.
And emo girls. And I loved Queens of the Stone Age, but I don't think anyone else loved Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah.
AM at this point, I think they just released AM.
Yeah.
Right. So banger. And then Blink this was the last tour that they were all together before they did their split. So I remember this really well. And it was the first year with my best mate there as well. We had a great time. Great
headliners, and then you've got like Vampire Weekend, Jake Bugg, and
Macklemore
and Ryan Lewis. Oh my god!
And he played Ceiling Can't Hold Us, whatever it is. He played it twice.
Oh my god, Macklemore! That would have been a strange set, to be fair.
And everyone was like, "Fuck this guy," but we'll go to throw bottles at him, and had a great time.
Enter Shigari, Imagine Dragons. Why Imagine Dragons here?
So do you know what I was saying? Like, there's a clear chapter defining moment, right? This is the end of this next one,
right? Okay.
Because there's so much, like, especially on that Sunday when you've got so much still like punk pop, like
it's heavy.
Like elements of hardcore. There's a lot of heaviness in there. There's still an element. Maybe that's just a cultural concept as well, but there's a lot going on where it's a lot of heavier bands.
You've got like why are Imagine Dragons on every lineup when you go back? Jimmy Eat World.
I'm trying to think. I don't remember anything else on that. I remember seeing Queens of the Stone Age.
I don't remember Sleeping with Sirens. Papa Roach is a pretty. Tonight Alive were great.
I remember seeing.
Then you've got like Tina's Warped, Twin Atlantic, Bombay Bicycle Club, Churches, Broco, Lower Than Atlantis, and Royal Blood. Disclosure in 2014, 1975, right below him.
Yeah.
The Kooks, Clean Bandit, The Neighborhood. You've got like Annie Mac, Wilkinson, Sigma, Pendulum.
I don't remember a lot about this year. You know, isn't that funny?
Milky Chance, I remember him. Jimmy Eat World of My
Rufus, before they were Rufus Du Sol.
Architects back in 2014.
Yeah, they were very big then. within that like they had a very cult following at that point.
Pusha T, Gigs. That's good. That's really good.
It was, yeah. I remember seeing part of Arctic Monkeys. I don't remember seeing Bombay. Oh, hang on. Maybe Bombay clashed with Jake Bugg because it says they're closing set from Neuro. So maybe they shifted it down and I did see Bombay. I fucking can't remember. I remember seeing Queens. I remember seeing Blink. I remember seeing Macklemore. And I remember seeing AM and Bombay.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Deant Ward. But that's about it.
I think that's pretty high as a lineup. I think that's like.
I remember it not working very well though. And I any year where they've had two headliners, I remember going, not sure about this.
The names alone for me, I don't put it in a life changing, but I definitely think it's up with 2016.
I think you would quite comfortably go and if this came out today, you'd be over the fucking moon.
Yeah, I think that's unmissable.
I'm trying to see if I can got any anything here that could spark a memory. Oh god, I used to not be so fat. Wow.
I'm trying to find like patterns here. I'm trying to see if there's anything I'm noticing about where we've ranked any so far.
Was this the year that Catfish are on the Festival Public stage?
Yeah, you've got.
Yes, they are.
Oh, are
they? They are. Yeah, on the Friday.
Yeah, can see it. Circle Waves as well.
And it was like 4:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that would have. Wolf Alice are on that stage as well.
Yeah, let's have a look through there quick. Anything that's so Wolf Alice, who was second from last, are up there.
Fat White Family.
Saint Raymond are pretty big now.
The Fat White Family. Is that not just Fat White Family, but remove the?
Maybe. Hosier. Circleways, Catfish.
Marika Hackman.
We Are Scientists. Like, hilarious. I love the Festival Public stage. It's brilliant. Anyway, yeah, I don't remember a lot more other than that, but if that came out today, I'd be happy. So yeah, I think you're in a good spot there.
Okay, I need to pull up 2013, but my window's not going smaller.
I think 13 for me was the worst year I went to of them all.
Oh no.
However,
wait, but there's some good names here.
There might be some really great names there. It was the first year I took my brother, and he was 16 at the time and was a little child. Bless his little heart.
Eminem and Biffy.
Yeah, but you got to remember at this point, Biffy hadn't released Black Chandelier yet.
Yeah.
Oh no, they had by the time the summer come out.
Biffy, Green Day, Eminem, System, Chasing Status, Nine Inch Nails, Deftones, Foles, Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
Don Broca are also there.
Now, if this came out now,
Bring Me the Horizon also.
I would skip Green Day and absolutely go watch Skrillex, which I think we did. And a bit of Sub Focus, or even Alkaline Trio, I'd be more than happy for. Or even Wiley, I'd happily go do that. For some reason, I didn't go watch System of a Down. It's one of the biggest regrets of my entire life.
Where was System?
Under Green Day.
Oh, shit, sorry. Yeah.
But you can go look at all the others. Like Major Lazer were fucking brilliant. Fiddler, great.
I swear in 2014, Jake Bugg and Alt J were on main stage, like sub-headlining in that order.
They both went whoom.
Right, okay.
Like really quickly.
Oh, you've also got Tame Impala, Disclosure.
Tame, and your favourite, Imagine Dragons. Tame Impala. Fucking hell, Tame Impala, I'm gagging to headline one day. I just think he's brilliant.
Charlie XCX as well.
Darwin D's, great. Disclosure, they just come out. Haim is so far down, but brilliant. Alex Clare was really time. Like, this was one of those years where I think it was my last year of uni and I was just so excited and I was just deep diving and I loved it all. But I remember, I look back at it as one of the weaker years for me. Looking at it now, there's a lot going on.
Names alone, I don't think you can put it too low. based on names alone.
Sure.
I think maybe,
but also like it's not biblical, is it? It's
no,
fine.
it's
Like a lot of them, Azealia Banks, Jake Bugg, even ASAP Rocky, like haven't done anything for years.
it's in this region. I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
I kind of want to say
It's better than 2018, but it's not that. It's somewhere. I agree.
Yeah, on names alone, I'd even put that higher on names alone, but just as a whole lineup, like in the context of when it was.
Yeah,
I think it's stacked. So 2012 is the next one, and this was the old format.
This was the old straight branding. Up. This is going straight up to life changing.
This is old Brandon. Is this? This is the one where it's like I think it's still Carlin's.
Yeah, it is.
Thing, right?
So this was the year where with the old layout as well. So main stage, Radio 110, the dance stage and the lockup were 110 as well.
Got you.
And they didn't have a one extra stage.
Oh god, the graphic designs had a nightmare.
Oh,
how has it gone from like how's like the poster design gotten so much better in the space of 1 year?
I don't know. I think this is beautifully brutalist. This is when they used to just put it on like a green poster and fucking throw it out.
Yeah, what is the font? It's horrible. But you've got the Cure, Kasabian, Foos. Okay.
So this as well, right? Kasabian in 2012. They've just released Velociraptor. That album after that big one they had. Foos are the biggest band in the entire world, and the fucking Cure, headline fucking Reading in 2012. It was so good.
Yeah.
And even if you don't like the Cure, fine, because you can go over to the Radio 1 stage and go watch the Maccabees.
Yeah.
Do one of the greatest sets of all time ever. God, fucking great.
It's the Black Keys, Bombay Bicycle Club, Yumi at 6, Vaccine, Shikari, Mystery Jets, Kaiser Chiefs, Bullet, All Time Low, Gaslight Anthem,
Odd Future Wolfgang, which is Tyler Elswed and Frank Ocean.
Maccabees, Foster People, The Cortinas, Spectre, The Cribs Mastodon,
Justice. Yeah, this I think has gone down in my book as the best year.
Yeah.
For all the whole time. I had a really good crew with you.
Also, can I just say, like, going on the graphic design again, what is the dance stage? Why is it laid out like that? It says dance stage off to one side, like in white for some reason.
So yeah, like what they used to do is have the dance stage was on the Sunday, and then the other 2 days were the lockup.
Yeah.
So I guess they had to separate them slightly, otherwise they wouldn't have been able to read it.
Feeder, yeah. Where you put in that? I don't have many.
This is right at the top for me. It's just like it was banging. I remember every one of those sets so well. I remember Subtract, Tudor. I remember seeing Mike Snow being amazing. Santi Gold was amazing. Joy the River were great. Like, this is such a good, diverse, and it's such a moment in time of music where there was, it was cool music around.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Now,
loved it.
I think this one's pretty high up for me.
11, I remember being brilliant as well.
My The Strokes, Muse, 30 Seconds to Mars, who are crap now, but at the time they would have been all right.
No, they would have been. They were huge.
Yeah,
they were huge.
Pulp, Elbow, The Offspring, National, Interpol, Deftones, Rise Against, Bring Me the Horizon.
Swapped in Leeds.
Oh, really?
I think. Could be wrong.
God, who else? Madness to National.
Which is how, if you're going to do a joint headliner, that's how you do it. You switch them around on the festival.
Jimmy Eat World, Tudor, Madness, Shikari, Frank Turner, BDI. That would have been great.
Yeah, I remember that.
Such a weird set. The Vaccines, Miles Kane, Bombay, Everything. The Streets, Panic at the Disco.
Streets was so good. The Streets into Muse was just fucking great. And I remember as well, there was another great run that year, which was C6 Steve, who's great. And he had John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin on stage doing bass with him, which is brilliant.
So cool.
That went over to Odd Future, who at the time had this real like cult following, and no one really knew who they were, which was out fucking rageous. And then that went into Madness, which was great. And then The Sun came out, and there were just like lots of families who were happy, and it was just brilliant to like to get old bands in those kind of almost legendary slots, and it would work really, really well. I loved it.
Yeah. Oh my god. I don't know if I don't think it'd change my life, but it's definitely you won't want to miss it.
I agree. It was a year that if you gave me like 5 Readings to go back to, it would definitely be on the list for me.
2010 now.
Oh, I can't remember 10. Maybe I can. Hang on. Oh, this is good. This is fucking hilarious.
We got in 2010. Oh,
so Guns N' Roses on Friday, who famously came out an hour and a half late.
Yeah, I've heard about
Played
this.
Welcome to the Jungle, got cut off, and then he decided to just sit on the stage with a megaphone.
Guns N' Roses, Queens of the Stone Age, Biffy, Arcade Fire, Libertines, Dizzy Rascal, The Cribs, Modest Mouse.
Yeah.
Blink-182,
That
Paramore.
Sunday, you look at that Sunday, it's like,
it's
a fucking fest.
Blink-182, Paramore, Weezer, Limp Bizkit, Yumi at 6, all-time low.
Even fucking Cypress Hill, man. Like, amazing.
And then you've got like LCD Sound System, Mumford & Sons, Two Door Cinema Club, Pendulum, Shikari, Frank Turner, everything. Why everything at every one as well?
Oh, there was a while where they were literally everywhere. Hadouken,
Foles,
and then so that Sunday as well, you had Klaxons, We Are Scientists, Foles, Kelly from Block Party, the Drums. I've just bought Drums tickets. I'm so excited.
Alkaline Trio.
Okay. Magnetic Man were fucking great.
Fortet.
Yeah, like no one knew who the fuck Fortet was then. No one knew.
Ash. I saw Ash recently. They were great. Introducing stage. You can
even fucking Caribou's up there, like on the Festi Republic stage. Like it's outrageous.
Who else? Introducing stage. This is always an interesting one.
Yeah, I don't know any of these guys.
No, they didn't really. Motion picture soundtrack. I feel like I've heard them. But yeah, that's a good lineup.
Yeah, it was good. I went and saw LCD Sound System on that Friday, and they were great.
Like just for like Guns N' Roses, Queens, and Biffy.
I know that he's been accused of some fucking horrendous shit, but they're one of my favourite bands. I think they're absolutely brilliant. And Blink were great at this point as well. It was just solid. It's good, yeah. It's good, yeah. Again, it falls in the following year for me. It's in an unmissable position.
So 2009. Who have we got? Oh, Jesus Christ. Arctic Monkeys Radiohead Block Party. You are joking. The Prodigy.
I remember this year really well.
Placebo.
Really, really well.
Fall Out Boy. Prodigy, Maximum Party, and Brow Cortinas. Fight Star, Block Party, yeah, Vampire Weekend. Kids in Glass Houses. Jamie T, Faith No More.
This had a couple of things that were really special. The first thing was the Friday on the Festival Republic stage.
Yeah.
You've got a run, which is the Horrors into Jack Pignate, into Florence, into Friendly Fires, into Jamie T.
Yeah.
Which is unreal. Like that is a truck lineup headliner now. Like it's great.
You've got Metric, Yumi at 6 as well. Billy Talent, Rise Against, Dead Mouse. Alexis on fire.
Yeah, it's great.
Chasing
That's Saturday.
status on the lockup stage.
Yeah, they would have been just DJs, I think, back then. Yeah,
Chipmunk.
it was really early.
Bring Me the Horizon on the Festival Republic stage. Atreyu.
Yeah. The Saturday on the main stage, I remember going Ian Brown, Maximo Park, who I loved both of those guys. White Lies, the Maccabees on the Radio 1 stage, and then into the Prodigy. And I remember the Prodigy being, if I could give you a top 5 best moments of Reading, like seeing the Prodigy, there was not one person in that state in the main stage that wasn't moving from front to back. They were absolutely brilliant. They're way better than AM.
Everything.
Just released Crying Lightning like a week before.
Yeah, everything on the introducing stage. So that was that was clearly the beginning of them.
Yeah. Mama Juke.
Yeah.
Mate from Biffy, innit? It's Simon from Biffy.
Yeah.
And then I remember that Sunday, I remember seeing Yeahs. I remember it raining and then stopping when they played Maps, which was brilliant. I remember Vampire Weekend being brilliant. I remember Block Pie, like my favourite band of all time ever. I'm seeing them next week. I can't wait.
Radiohead would be really good.
But then at this time, do not judge me, but you've got Deadmau5, La Rue, Lost Prophets, and Radiohead at the time, like, are all amazing bands and across loads of different genres. And so we just dipped around and we did a little bit of everything, and it was just great.
Radiohead would have been. I'm pretty sure I'm seeing Radiohead this year. I'm doing Primavera in Porto, and from what I've heard, the rumours are Radiohead. And if that's true, because I've been in a bit of a Radiohead era at the minute, I've been listening to them a lot, and then that got announced, and then I heard that online, and that was like big. So hopefully that happens. But Radiohead,
I think I've yet to have my my Radiohead moment, but I'm excited for the day I do. Yeah. But until then, I do love winding up Radiohead fans.
Another one that I think that goes with 2011 and 2010. I could actually put it.
It was very good. It could jump up, but
I feel like I would put it like there.
2008 is 100% a life changer. 2009, I'm happy with it being an unmissable. It wasn't as good, but it was still great. I remember
we'll put it at the top of unmissable. Not that we're ordering them, but just that is there. 2008. Oh, Jesus Christ.
2008 is the best. And it was my first year, so I would say that.
We got
Rich, but it is the best.
Queens, the Fratelli's the Enemy, Biffy. The Killers, Block Party. Jack White's band is the Raconteurs, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got like Metallica, Tenacious D, Slipknot, Avenged.
It's brilliant. It's just brilliant.
Honestly, I've got the biggest smile just looking at that.
It's so good, and you got to remember at this time, right? Like the Libertines had just split up, and so Baby Shambles were one part, and the Dirty Pretty Things were the other. And so you had these kind of big people. These you think about the members of these bands all being in one field at the same time. These are big people in kind of music.
And then like Wombats, Vampire Weekend. It's mad how the Wombats have stayed so relevant.
They have, and they were really new at this point, right? I think the first time.
If they laid the festival out like this again, I feel like the Wombats could probably play a similar slot.
Yeah.
I don't think they're too big for that slot now. Like, I think they've just kind of been there, and they just will be there.
I also think, like, if it wasn't for the fact they play every other festival around the world every single year, I think there could be a main stage West headliner. West headliner.
I've said the same about Tudor. If they weren't just everywhere, both of them are like. If they were a bit more exclusive, I'd take either of them as a headliner.
They're massive over here. Massive over here. Wombats. Huge. So I remember this so well because our first act was Get Cake, Wear Cake, Fly, who I loved. And then we watched Taking Back Sunday, and then Dizzy came out. He did an encore in the middle of the day, which was unheard of. Love that. We watched Serge Tankian, we watched Biffy, who at the time had just released Saturday Super House, so early Biffy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not early Biffy, but it's that early second chapter of them.
Yeah.
And then I remember watching Queens, who had all black and white, and they were fucking great. And then Rage, like that's an outrageous day.
Yeah.
In the interim, we watched MGMT and maybe the Blood Red Shoes.
Who else is on that? Manic Street Preachers, Bullet, Falls, Mystery
Justice, Mystery Jets, Sans Gold, Bombay are right at the bottom.
But yeah, Bombay. Last Shadow Puppets. That'd be well good. The Cribs.
Yeah.
Pendulum.
So if you just think about the names that you've got there, right? You've got All of Rage. You've got what's his name from Killers? I always forget his name.
Brandon Flowers.
You've got
Jack
all of Metallica.
Black.
Jack Black is there. You've got Corey Taylor from.
What are the chances Alex Turner?
Jack White is there.
Yeah.
Josh Homme is there. Alex Turner is there.
What are the chances Alex Turner and Miles Kane met Jack Black?
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Imagine.
Yeah, it's great. Pensman are there. Hadouken are there. Yeah, like it's a real moment. If you just look at all of the people that are on that lineup and you were to like put them all in, like a Sgt. Pepper's style cardboard cutout album cover, it would be amazing.
Yeah, it's like proper legends of rock all in one place.
Yeah, and it was my first year, so it's completely life changing.
Straight to the top. Where to now? 2007.
We're dipping into an older time now. I'm not sure how much time I've got left, but we'll rattle through.
Right, 2007. Immediately.
Before my time. We're old at this point.
Okay, 2007. Immediately, I want to put it pretty low. 3 shit headliners.
I mean, look. Here's the thing. Chili's are, and I think the Red Hot Chili Peppers will go down in history as a massive band. I've had my time of hating them. I've come back the other side now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, actually.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. They're massive, but I just think they're incredibly boring.
And I think Smashing Pumpkins as well have had such an impact. Yeah. And at that time would have been so big, but why the fuck did they put Razor Shite? Do you know what I mean? Jesus
and then
Christ.
Especially like Kings of Leon, Razor Light and Interpol on one evening. It's a snooze fest.
Not totally a fan.
Block Party are the only band on that day that are still good.
Yeah, I mean, Arcade Fire again, one of my favourites. The Used at that point, huge. Funeral for a Friend at that point, huge. Fall Out Boy, Lost Profits. But that's a good little lineup. If you're a little emo kid, that's a good little lineup of Billy Talent, Used, Funeral for a Friend, Fall Out Boy.
For me, that's like I'm going because I always go.
Yes.
It might be lower. It's in this region.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at it through a 2023 lens, but sure.
I know, but like, I don't know. I suppose, like, on names alone, for me, that is literally like missed the mark.
Well, look, there's not going to be very many of those that come around, so let's fill out that.
Because at the time as well, like, would Razorlight have even been good at the time?
Yeah, they were so big, but they were so big from such a small amount of people.
Yeah,
and they only had one album out, I think, maybe 2. They just released America. Ugh, fucking shite.
Got, like, why did they love Lost Profits as well? They're around every year.
Well, they were so big.
Yeah, true.
They were so big.
They're just they're just
like the biggest band in the UK.
The thing is, they're just in like random spaces every year, though. It's never anywhere consistent. Do you know what I mean?
They continued to grow and grow and grow and grow, and they also shifted with their first album came out in 2003 maybe, and then as kind of British emo went kind of big, they moved into that so seamlessly. And it, do you know what, had the horrendousness not had happened, I'd be really interested to see where they would be now, because they were so good. They were so good. Not that you can go back and listen to their albums because it's gross, but like, no, exactly. They were so good.
The thing is, though, it just strikes me as weird, like how, so on this, they're all the way up here, the year after they were like Festival Republic stage or something, all the way down here headlining one of the other stages, and then the year before they're like main stage. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just looking for a bit of where.
You got to remember as well, though, in these years, the festival was half the size it was.
Right. Okay.
So in 2013 was the year where so in Reading, what they did was they carved out nearly all of Yellow Camp,
right,
and turned that greener and half of green.
Mm.
So it used to be much, 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 much smaller.
Got you.
So the kind of weight of where you sit, if it gets bigger and you don't, and you go down, you're still playing the same slot. It's just that there's like a new tier that's got bigger, right?
Got you. 2006.
Okay, I'm looking at this and I'm going, I think this was my girlfriend's first year, and I'm going, the Streets, great. AM in 2006 would have been the hottest fucking band in the world.
My Chem in 2006 would have been nuts.
Placebo in 2006, great. Yeahs, amazing. But the rest of it, Wolf Mother, fine.
The headliners for me are massive snooze fest.
Yeah, I don't care about them at all.
And then
actually, I don't care about the sub-headliners that much. I
Monkeys would be good, but they're not even at their best at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Monkeys would have been it would have been cool to see it at the time, to say you were there, but at that point, they've not hit their peak.
But then, even Radio 1 stage, Primal Scream, cool. Raconteurs, great. Maximo Park, great. They're the headliners I would have gone and seen that weekend. I would have not seen those other three.
And then you've got Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco. There's no one really on main stage either. Apart from
Fight Star.
The Cribs and the Streets. Bullet.
You know Fight Star?
No, I've heard the name.
Fight Star is Charlie Simpson from Busted.
Oh my god.
He went and did his old emo thing. That's hilarious. It was enjoyable. Goldie looking chain. Brilliant. Boy Kill Boy, I forgot about them.
Who else have we got? Animal Collect. That might be enough.
Do you know what? It's weak. There's I'm not selling my ticket, but there's a couple. The whole week. There's a lot. Because
the thing is, even the best bands there aren't at their best point. My Chem have done Black Parade at this point.
But they're massive in 2006.
Yeah, no. So My Chem are massive, but even then, some of their best stuff's not even out at that point.
Agreed.
Monkey's best stuff's absolutely not out at that point.
The Kooks are pretty massive. That would have been pretty good, but they're third from top on the Festival Public stage. Yeah. Sorry, on the Radio 1 stage.
Yeah, I'm happy putting that quite low.
Yeah, missed the mark in my opinion. But
any will be selling your ticket. I wonder if we'll get any of those. Oh, this isn't one. I was expecting that to be one for a second.
5 is great. 5 is great.
Pixies, Killers, Foos. Who's that below Foos? Kings of Leon. Iron Maiden, Marilyn Manson. I'm not here for the Sunday.
Fucking hell, this is outrageous.
I'm not feeling the Sunday, but
Maiden, Manson, Incubus, Iggy and the Stooges, Funeral for a Friend, Alkaline Trio, Turbo Negro, and My Chemical Romance, No Effects. I'm there for every one of those. In fact, the only reason I'm not there is because Block Party, The Future Heads, LCD Sound System, Maximo Park.
Yeah. For me, I'm missing the Sunday at main stage, but Pixies, Killers, Queens, The Coral, Elbow, Kasabian. Who's that?
Hang on, where are we looking? There. Okay, so Friday you've got Pixies, Killers, Queens, The Coral, Elbow, Graham Coxon, Dropkick Murphys. I don't know.
Kasabian are also there. That would have been really good.
Yeah, and 2005, they're first album, right?
Yeah, that would have been
just
interesting.
Year after. They might not have done. What was the album they released? What was their second album?
Empire.
What was the big song on Empire?
Stevie, maybe?
No, that's on
later on. Wait, what's on Empire? Empire's got Empire.
I can't remember that at all. It's awful, isn't it?
Empire is one of the bigger songs off that album.
Because their first album's amazing.
So their second album's Empire Shoot the Runner.
So, okay, I thought Shoot the Runner was on the first album. So, right, they're in a good spot there. But that didn't come out till 2006. So they've only released their first album.
Yeah.
At this point, which is brilliant. And I remember them being so like, who the fuck are this band? Because their marketing was so good.
Yeah, you've got Clubfoot, LSF.
Amazing.
Wait, what was their marketing like?
So they had this album that used to run on MTV that was just the album cover, and it used to flash in different colours. And then it just had like all of the audio syncs between tracks, the interludes and stuff. And it was like, what the fuck is this? And it just said Clubfoot. And like no one knew what it was. It was like really cool. All these billboards up, and it just said Kasabian, which is not a word that anyone knows. And it was like, what is this? And then this thing came out on MTV, and it was like, this song is really good. Clubfoot came out. And that was it. Like they were fucking cool. They were really, really cool. And they were kind of faceless up until they started like playing live and having it. And it was great. I remember it so well. But then even like Other Subways and Death from Above, fucking great. Audio Bullies, Fort Minor, Kano, DJ Format, like this is a great lineup. This is I'm really upset I wasn't there to see this. Milo, Fortet, MIA. That's solid.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just trying to look around to find that MTV Kasabian thing you're on about.
I'll find it for you.
Yeah, that's definitely higher. I think that's probably quite mid-tier, actually.
I'm not sure if it's life-changing, but I'm really gutted I wasn't there to see that.
I would go with Stacked for that. I won't go as high as Unmissable.
Right. I'll take it.
I don't know, though.
Even like fucking the Transplants were great.
There's some big names there. Do you know what? If that ad, I know it's way too early, but if that had Catfish in the Bottom End, that's going in Unmissable. Do you know? It's one of them where it's like if they just had like someone who I'd listen to now like a lot. It like
Catfish hadn't even made their first song for 10 years.
No, exactly. If they got like if they had a band now that I'm like constantly bumping, like if they had just one of my all-time favorite bands. But to be fair, they've got Biffy. But even then, it's like if they had someone that was in their prime. If this lineup, if any of the bands had like their best music out, that's ridiculous. But like a lot of those bands don't have their best music out at this point.
Sure.
And that's what I'm marking it down on.
Killers have got Hot Fuss out, but they've probably only just released.
Yeah, because in terms of like studio output, Kasabian got just better over time up until last year.
Mm-hmm.
So like they were gradually getting better and better.
Yeah, there's still some fucking there though, man. The Rakes, brilliant.
But yeah,
Rakes.
Where do I put them? Stacked. Yeah, we'll leave them in Stacked. 2004.
Do you know what? This is. If you would have shown this to me a year ago, I would have been like, whatever. And fuck Green Day. But
it's fun. It's a fun line.
I don't know if you watch Justin Hawking on YouTube.
Yeah.
But he's brilliant. And it's just giving me a totally new respect for the Darkness.
And the thing is, I seen him on YouTube. Like I seen him really soon after I saw the Darkness at Download.
Yeah.
And they were really good at Download.
Yeah.
I honestly think that's a really decent lineup.
Yeah.
It's kind of dumb.
They were big then.
Yeah.
And like the White Stripes are in, I think, their prime at this point.
Green Day would have been great.
Fucking Morrissey is sub-headlining under the White Stripes. That's outrageous.
I think this would have been a really good lineup.
I think this is the year that 50 Cent gets bottled off.
Yeah.
I would love to see 50 Cent now. I think Get Rich or Die Trying is one of my favourite albums of my life. Placebo, great. Lost Prophets, brilliant. The Streets, great. Then you go over to the Saturday, Morrissey, Libertines, Franz Ferdinand. Cool.
Dizzy
The 5, 6, 7, 8 who were in that Quentin Tarantino film. Jurassic fucking 5. Oh, so good.
I reckon. Yeah. Do you know what?
It's kind of the last one.
I feel like that one's definitely like kind of dumb, kind of fun. It's kind of goofy, but I think it works. I think like if they put that on, I think you'd have a really fun weekend.
Is this what a Rewind Festival is going to look like in 10 years' time?
I'd hope so.
I like it. I do. Yeah. I think it's good. I don't think it's as good as the one we were looking at, the 2005 we were looking at there, but I would be happy to see like all of those. So I'd get a couple names here or there. It's nowhere near as iconic as the others, but it's still good.
Okay, 2003.
But can you see what I mean? Like we're in like this weird little time now, and this is now 3. Again, we're still in this moment.
This is a very good year. It's 2003, the year I was born, and also we've got a really good lineup.
You were born in 2003.
I was 20 years ago.
Oh, that makes me feel so.
But no, lineup as well. Blur, Linkin Park, Metallica.
Yeah, that's 3 big, iconic bands.
Metallica, Linkin Park, Blur. You've got Blink, Placebo, The Darkness, System of a Down, Sum 41, The Streets, Libertines, Primal Scream. That's stacked.
There's those Biffy, 3 headliners.
Why were Biffy there every year as well when you get to this point?
So good, man. So good. So good. Played every stage.
Yeah.
Which is why in 2013, when they finally headlined, it was like they fucking earned it. They've played every stage.
And then the first year of the second main stage, they played that as well. So they've even played the newest of the stages.
Yeah, they've done it all.
The music, Polyphonic Spree. I think the main stage is stacked. Yeah.
I mean, look, fucking hell. You're going to get Metallica, Linkin Park, Blur, The White Stripes, Blink-182, System, and Jay-Z, and Beck all in the same weekend. That's outrageous. Like, take away all the cool shit there. I love Sum 41, Good Charlotte in 2003 are huge. Lost
I
Profits,
think that's
great.
A pretty quick, unmissable.
Yeah, I think so too.
2002.
Yeah, fucking great.
Start
2002. So you're -1 at this point. Again, fucking solid. Guns N' Roses are Leeds only.
Strokes, Foo Fighters, GNR Leeds only, and Prodigy. Yeah, unreal.
Like, there's 3 of my favourite bands of all time right there, and the Prodigy, the Strokes, and the Foo Fighters.
Offspring,
amazing.
Pulp, Muse, and Ash. I'm not a big fan of Muse, but that would have been big. Sum 41, Jane's Addiction, Weezer. Yeah, Slipknot, halfway down.
2002 is like Origins of Symmetry had just come out.
Yeah, Slipknot's halfway down. The White Stripes.
Incubus.
As if the
Incubus at this point are enormous as well.
In 2002, that's so funny.
Of course they were playing the same fucking song. Andrew WK at that point, huge artist.
Feeder, Jimmy World.
Really good.
Is that another unmissable? I think it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Nah, I feel like I think that 2003 was definitely better than this.
Maybe. I don't know. There's so much going on. Yes, 2003 is better than that. Maybe 2003 goes into Life Changing then.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right, do it.
No, but also that's so good. Like the top couple lines of 2002 are unreal.
Yeah, they're very good. They're very, very, very good.
Okay, 2001.
Even they're down like fucking Uncle.
2001. Eminem, Travis, and Manic Street Preachers.
So you got to remember, at this point, Eminem is one of the biggest artists in the entire world.
Yeah, so Eminem is not... So Eminem's like perfect. Travis... I'm trying to think, what did Travis use?
They were big. Well, Sting was one of the big ones. Why Does It Always Rain on Me is another one. Like, they were massive. Yeah. They were massive.
Yeah, Why Does It Always Rain on Me? Close Up Flowers in the Window. Yeah, okay. Still a bit odd.
But like now, you'd be like, Travis?
Yeah. Travis Scott, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Manic Street Preachers, Green Day, Fun Loving Criminals, Marilyn Manson, Papa Roach, Queens.
Okay, so if you skip out, if you just look at that Friday, Eminem, Manson, Papa Roach, Queens, The Cult Exhibit System, Head PE, and Stained. Oh my fucking God. That's one of the best days of Reading Festival history, in my opinion. Absolutely great. Saturday, Travis, Green Day, PJ Harvey. I'd love to go see Iggy Pop. I'd love to go see Run DMC. And that's about where it... Maybe Fun Loving Criminals would be fun.
It's not great, this one, is it?
It's not great. They've missed the mark on that one.
Yeah.
So solid one day. All they need to do is split that out across, and it would have been a completely different feel.
Yeah. 2000. I wonder if we're going to have like a badge one. Stereophonic. Oh, Pulp and Oasis. Are you joking? Who else?
Yeah, this is pretty big.
Beck, Primal Scream, Placebo.
Yeah, this is a monster year.
Foo Fighters, Rage, Limp Bizkit, Blink-182, Ian Brown, Embrace, Muse, Shed 7.
This is pretty huge.
Well, that's a loyal Garner then. It says Lorient Garnier. Black Eyed Peas in 2000.
Yeah, so that's before they're Black Eyed Peas as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is when they're like an old, like Dilla style hip hop group.
That's unmissable, surely.
Yeah, I think that goes really, really good. Stereophonics, Pulp and Oasis in 2003. Number one, they've got 3 UK acts headlining, which I love.
You've got Foos, Rage, Slipknot, Placebo, Blink all on the same, and Limp Bizkit all on the same weekend.
Yeah,
it's outrageous.
Yeah, Deftones, like I would put Deftones in that category as well. Like massive, massive.
Okay,
isn't that hilarious though? On that Friday, you've got Stereophonics, Placebo, Slipknot, and then you get Rage, and then you get Blink.
Yeah.
Right, like what?
Yeah. Deftones so low.
Like you could very comfortably flip that upside down now, and it would make more sense.
Oh yeah.
Like if it went opens with Stereophonics, then into Placebo, then into Slipknot, then into Rage, then into Blink, you'd be like, that's a great lineup, and it makes sense.
Yeah. Foo Fighters, Oasis, Limp Bizkit. That's ridiculous. Right, last one. 1999. The first, from what I think this is the first ever Leeds. 2 different logos. We've got Charlatans, Blur, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Chemical Brothers, Catatonia, Offspring, Reef, God. So
okay, I can tell you a Charlatans record. Blur, amazing. Chili Peppers, at this point, are huge. Because they've not even done Californication at this point. This is like old Chili's. Chemical Brothers, one of the best live acts, I think, of the last 30 years. And I think absolutely amazing. Catatonia, fine. Offspring, pretty cool, fine. The rest of it's a bit bullshit.
For me, I am literally there for Blur. And that is Blur and Chemical Brothers at a push. That is, for me, that's the worst one.
If this came out today, hang on, right. Chemical Brothers, Blur. I'd go see The Far Side. I'd go see Chili's. I'd go see Offspring. I'd go see Feeder. Even though they haven't released anything by this point. Flaming Lips. Arab Strap again, wow. And that, I think, is it. There are 7 names on that lineup that I would go see.
That's the worst of them that we've seen.
Oh, Blink-182 are there.
Where?
On the Vans Warped Tour stage. It goes Ice-T, Pennywise, Blink-182, Suicidal Tendencies, Less Than Jake. Ronnie Size.
Definitely the worst one we've seen.
Yes.
Selling my ticket. Perfect. we finally got one.
There you go.
That is it. That's the tier list. Every Reading and Leeds that has ever happened. That's been an interesting little dive in.
It has. Wow. For anyone that moans about fucking lineups anymore, just go look in 1999 and then you can have a moan.
Yeah. Or even like
who's your pick for if you got 3 names for this year, who's on 24?
My prediction was Rod, Olivia Rodrigo,
right.
Fred again, and I originally said Green Day, but they're ruled out, so I'd say Blink.
Yeah.
My other
Blink's
shouts,
happening.
my other 3 shouts would have been Tina's, Lewis Capaldi, Royal Blood.
Yeah.
They're my smaller ones. And then if I could have anyone in the world, my 6 are Kendrick, Paramore, Dua Lipa, Fall Out Boy, Olivia Rodrigo, and Royal Blood.
Nice. Yeah, I really want Fred. Because I want him to have that AAA festival headline slot.
Yeah.
After watching Hot Ones with Doja Cat, I've changed my opinion. I think she's fucking incredible and would love to see her headline. So that gives you a little, like, one little dancey number, one little pop number. It would be good to get a rapper in.
I would have said a rock band there, because Doja is your rapper.
Sure. Well, maybe Doja Cat counts as a rapper. In fact, she would call herself a rapper these days, wouldn't she? So, and then if we're going for a band, I think Blink are almost guaranteed.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I would love to see Queens of the Stone Age or a Rage or someone big, but maybe like Blink take that legacy slot.
Yeah.
I don't know who is like an up and coming first time headliner band.
My pick for like first time headliner, it's not a band, but like Olivia Rodrigo, I feel like could count.
Yeah, I'm not sold on that personally. But I'm fucking old, so
that's where I think Cortinas will do West. I think they're like the last big indie band to do it.
They're just not a headline act. Just not like.
I think
so. I don't know. I'm really intrigued to see what happens.
Yeah.
But we've got a solid crew this year. We've got 7 of us going. I'm so excited. I've not had
if you could have anyone, who would you have if you could literally just pick and choose?
I'd love. So there's two women that have never headlined that I'd love to see headline. Oh, with the balloons again.
Go on.
I'd love to see Haim, and I'd love to see Florence and the Machine headline. Both incredible. I'd love to see Tame Impala headline because I think that works, and I saw him last year and it was fucking great.
Strikes me as a Reading Elite headliner as well.
Yeah, and works and makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, I think blends the kind of electronic and band bit really, really well, and I really love that. I'd love to see. I really love Fred again, and I really want to see him headline. I think it would be biblical. Yeah. And I'd fucking love Kendrick Lamar. Just give me Kendrick.
Do you know what it is though? I was speaking to Chalky from TPD about this actually. We were speaking about Kendrick Lamar, and he was saying that like Kendrick could be cool, but I couldn't help but feel like if he played now, it would just be like him and Baby Keem doing the Hilly Billies thing.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I'd be okay with that.
I reckon I would too, because I don't think there's enough where they could do a whole set of it. They definitely want to play around with it, but you'd have to have like Kendrick. He'd have to do his classics.
Yeah.
Or some variation of his classics.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm not really. It's the first year I've really not thought about it. I'm just kind of like I'm waiting for it to come.
Yeah.
But I'd like a nice variance of. I've got like a theory of the 3 main types of music being like electronic rap and guitar based, right? And I think that they blend that really, really well. And I'd like a nice balance of that and mental and ratio.
In the video that I did, my prediction video, I was talking about how in the years where they've had 6 headliners, there's like 6 really specific categories that every single one of the past like 18 to 20 headliners fills. And even the guys that dropped out kind of fit into them. So I was talking about how there's always like a big current UK artist that'll bring out like really well back to the UK. So that'll be like a Stormzy, a Dave, or even like a Sam Fender or Lewis Capaldi.
Or a Fred again, potentially.
Yeah, or a Fred again. And then I was saying they always have like a really random, like whoever it is that's Radio 1's like token alternative act at the time. So it doesn't have to be like a rock act, but it'd be like Bring Me with one of them, Disclosure, and like Imagine Dragons are all kind of fit that. And then I was saying there's always like a big guitar legend as well as like an indie legend. So you get like a big indie band like Catfish, but then you'll get also like someone who goes down as a guitar like rock legend. So that could be like a Liam Gallagher, but you could also go out to like a Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
And then I think they were saying there was like, what were the other categories? It's like one of them's like a big global celebrity influencer icon. So like your Billy, that's where like Megan would be, Halsey. And then the last one was something like, it was like, I can't remember what it was, but it's all in my video.
It's been quiet, but I do think at some point you're going to get like a TikTok-y, influencer-y, KSI type person like that. I feel is primed for that. It's
just waiting for like a KSI or a Quedeca to get like a big slot, and I think once that happens, or like a Talia Ma, like midday on like a main stage, you could see happening.
Yeah, a Connor Price. That kind of shtick, right? Like, I think we're into a new phase of like people doing it themselves, and actually, I think this rock and roll is.
I think. Have you heard that new Strangers song by Kenya Grace? It's like some big drum and bass song. It's been mad on TikTok over here. I imagine it's gone into like a Radio 1. I imagine they're blasting it on Radio 1.
I have, of course.
I think she'll play. I don't think she'll have a big slot, but she'll play.
No, I of course, and I think we're rife with that at the moment. But I'm intrigued to see when they get to the point where they are headline worthy.
Okay,
right? Because that comes over time. You can't just be like, oh, you look at those. Just going through that list there of having like Razorlight in the Darkness and people headline when they really shouldn't have been headlining, and it doesn't work. So you do need time to build an audience and a following. I think that is deep rooted. I mean, in 5, 6, 7 years, when these guys who are just doing their own thing become that big, I'm really intrigued to see how that works.
I imagine, because from what we know, I think KSI's chilling out with boxing, from what I know,
and making like drinks.
Yeah, so I imagine his next thing is to drop an album.
Yeah,
I think he'll be music based in 2024.
Would it be a Prime sponsored event?
I could imagine it. Do you know what? In my prediction post, I did put them as a sponsor.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? Think about that.
Yeah, in my prediction poster, I had like McDonald's, Quechua, Prime, YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, YouTube Shorts. Wow.
Do you know what? I just want a brand deal for my channel with 4Loco.
Yeah.
If 4Loco are watching this, sponsor me, because I was honestly 4Loco. I was on them at Leeds this year. Unreal, and that they had like a tent. It was really cool. I really liked what they were doing.
Yeah. Every so often they get those sponsors right.
Yeah.
The alcohol sponsors were good. I like them.
But you can only buy 2 of them at once. It was really annoying because we went to go get around like 6 of us. But they won't let you do it.
Speaking of alcohol sponsorships, I have to go to work.
Right. I'll let you disappear then. It is like midnight here.
Yeah. I really appreciate it, man. It was really
don't
fun.
worry, Ted. But yeah. So I'll let
you go.
I'm going
to get some more out ASAP Rocky. I'm just I'm having a little break.
Got you. Is there anything you want to plug quickly?
Absolutely not. Subscribe to the main stage.
Subscribe to Jack Webb Music Club. We'll leave it like that.
Take it easy, dude.
Cheers.